The difference between psychotherapy live and a real therapist and their methods? Do you have like, compare contrast issue?
Well, I mean, for one thing, I make it quite clear that I have no formal training.
All right.
What is the definition for complacency? You're asking me, so my personal opinion, the definition for complacency, it's somebody who doesn't take responsibility for themselves. It's allowing whatever happens, happens. Will say what I think. And also, another big thing is I solicit the audience. I say, I have no training, help call out.
And does it arrive? Is it ingrained or affected?
I think complacency is a learned behavior. I don't think it's a natural behavior. I think it's a very passive aggressive behavior. I think it comes from people being really angry at something that's been imposed on them where they don't feel like they have control in their lives. So they're basically like, I think it's like, fuck you, I'm checking out. If you need to be turned against your mother, a therapist is a good person to do it. Like one time, there was this guy who was debating whether he didn't know if he was gay or straight.
All right.
And he told all these stories that involved, they were kind of actually, they were kind of exciting and they involved other men. And then I had an entire room full of people yelling, "You're gay, you're gay, you're gay." So there's no way that that guy didn't think they were gay.
How do you feel about this right here, this paper?
If you don't feel complacent, then the government hasn't done its job. Well, I would say this is a very cynical view of the government, just objectively
Yeah.
speaking. And I, 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 I wish I was comfortable feeling complacent. I would like to enjoy the complacency. I think the government's like, I think that the government's a no-win situation. I think people that want to be in the government are people who intrinsically have are power hungry and are not going to make good rulers.
All
So
right.
I don't really. Government is something that's very difficult to ever be really productive or positive. I do think, particularly in this country, that the individual doesn't take enough responsibility. However, if you weren't to be complacent, you would like to think that the government's job was to improve people's lives on a personal level and a social level and on a global level.
And how do you think institutions instill complacency in people?
Well, I think certainly schools do, for example. That was because schools, any kind of organization, because they deal with people in mass. The problem is that, the people in charge of these companies aren't usually the best people to be in charge. It's the people who actually do the work. But people who are really hard workers that are focused on actual productivity are not people who are focused on ruling and don't have a desire, a hunger for being in charge.